Hello there, AppSpy viewers. It's me, Peter, and I've got a hands-on video for you. This time it's with FFFFF2P, which, as you might kind of guess, is a free-to-play game, and it's a single-screen platformer. That's kind of what I'm doing here. There's virtual sticks at the bottom, and there's a jump button, and you've got to get out of the way of this flying Lakitu-esque thing, sort of a nod to the Lakitu spike droppers that would appear in Super Mario Brothers, the original game on the NES. Got to get out of the way of these bothersome ads, eh? Because that's what free-to-play games are all about, huh? Now, I'm here to tell you a couple of things. First of all, I don't think this game is very good, deliberately or otherwise. So it might be that this game's not very good because it's kind of a joke game. It's trying to take the mickey out of free-to-play games, or maybe bad free-to-play games. I'm not 100% sure which at the moment, but it doesn't feel very fun, and it's not very balanced. Like, you accelerate really quickly, and then the jumping isn't very satisfying either because it's virtual sticks, and very few companies actually know how to do virtual stick platformers on iOS. There are a few exceptions, of course. The other thing, so, you know, like, it's not a very good game, basically. The core gameplay isn't very good. And I don't think that the joke is particularly well developed, essentially. So the whole joke is that this is kind of what free-to-play games are like, or maybe just bad free-to-play games. And you know what? Yeah, like, bad free-to-play games are a bit like this. They are really tricky to actually play. The free-to-play stuff gets in the middle of gameplay, and it's really, really annoying when that happens. And it can, like, game mechanics like that can ruin perfectly good games. Of course, this isn't a perfectly good game. It doesn't actually feel very good to control. It's not a base platformer. It's not very good. Like, if you took these platforming mechanics and put them into a paid game and, like, it wasn't a game about free-to-play, it still wouldn't be a very good platformer. Oh, come on. So, like, it feels a little bit unfair for this to be representative of free-to-play games, because there are plenty of really good free-to-play games. Let me list you a few. Ravenmark Mercenaries, Real Racing 3, Flappy Bird is a totally okay free-to-play game. Angry Birds, what else? Super Battle Tactics, and not whatever rubbish that just came up on my screen then. Angry Birds Go is a totally good game. I think that, in fact, there are a lot of racing games that are pretty good on iOS that are free to play and very, very good. What was that DuckTales game? It was a brilliant DuckTales game as well that was kind of an arena-based first-person shooter. That was good. Fates Forever is a MOBA that's very good as well. Do you want me to go on? I can go on if you want. But anyway, so there are plenty of good free-to-play games, and on appspy.com we try to highlight them as best we can. So this is a bad free-to-play game, and maybe it's taking the mickey out of bad free-to-play games. And if that's the case, then fine. This is taking the mickey out of bad free-to-play games, but it's a bad free-to-play game taking the mick out of bad free-to-play games? That's kind of like me being a person who is, you know, rubbish at playing the flute, going into a sort of flute rehearsal or a flute recital where somebody's not very good and going, "Ha ha, you suck!" It's like, well, you aren't much better, and therefore kind of your criticism of it is a bit invalid, almost. Like, you can sort of, if you're going to make a game that's taking the mickey out of free-to-play games that are bad, maybe make a good one, or maybe have one that has some redeeming elements. Because while I'm playing it, I am sort of thinking to myself, maybe there's a joke here, or maybe this is just a bad free-to-play game, and there's a sort of shtick to it that is trying to justify it, and justify the fact that you're playing it. Because there's loads of ads everywhere, like, and it keeps throwing up interstitial ads, and there's loads of in-app purchases, and the game's broken and buggy. Like, this is just a bad game. So, I don't know. I just don't think that the joke is particularly well developed. And I don't know. Is there a metaphor here? Like, these ads are falling on top of this guy. So I guess the metaphor would be, oh, it's crushing a really, you know, a potentially great game. but it's not. You're not crushing a particularly good platformer because this guy is not very much fun to control, and the game is really basic. So I don't know. I don't think this is very good. I don't think it's a very good game, and I don't think it's a very good satire of free-to-play games, basically. And I'm all for like criticism of free-to-play games because you know what? As much as I love freemium gaming, because I do, like there are some really important discussions that have to go on for that payment model to exist, you know, and continue to be relevant, because there are significant problems with free-to-play, and feel free to drop a comment into the comments section about whether or not you like free-to-play games, because there are some really significant problems with it, but at the same time there are some really great advantages too. And I feel like if this is the discussion that we're going to have about games that are free-to-play, then we're not really doing it right, basically. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a sourpuss about this. That's certainly possible. It's a free-to-download game that is sort of meant to be taking the mickey out of it, and the art style's cute enough. Like, it's fine. But I don't know. It kind of rubbed me up the wrong way a little bit, and I don't think it's a very good game. However, it is out now on iTunes. You can go and download this if you want to play a slightly boring free-to-play platforming game that's actually a bit broken.
This is Peter with AppSpy.com. We review, you decide.